Thank you for joining us today on Pack 14 for our Prepare Wicomico. And today we have a special edition, Opioid Intervention Team, and we are going to do this quarterly. Our first guest for this special edition is Lori Brewster, our health officer. And Lori, thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us today.
Thanks for inviting me.
Well, let's let the public know about what is the Opioid Intervention Team and how it got started with the governor's declaration.
Well, back in, I believe it was March of 2018, the governor had an emergency declaration because of the opioid epidemic and what was occurring across the state and across the country with overdose deaths. And he, as part of his emergency declaration, decided to request that opioid intervention teams be made in each county. And our county executive, Bob Culver, took the idea and ran with it and sent out letters to the various entities to request their participation on the opioid intervention team.
And we've been meeting since that time. We have different sections. So let's start with our leadership, and that's you and David Shipley, our Emergency Services Director. And then we have a senior policy group. And let's tell the viewers kind of a few people who participate in that.
The senior policy group consists of the Sheriff's Department, so the Sheriff, State's Attorney's Office with Jamie Dykes, the State's Attorney, County Executive Culver, and leadership from the Health Department, and of course our opioid coordinator for the county.
Well, that's great. And then we have a planning section that meets, and they plan and help guide the group as well as the senior policy group. So can you tell us some of those same people may be on that as well?
Well, the planning group is very vast in its membership, and we center it around the arms of prevention, treatment, and enforcement. I think the last count was probably close to 100 individuals or entities serving on that planning group.
And then we have an operations section where I call it the rubber hits the road. We're doing a lot of things out in the community, so we have an operations section as well.
Correct.
And those are divided between prevention, treatment, and enforcement, and lots of partners.
Correct.
So the operations section is helping out with Go Purple. So we're going to talk about that a little later in the show. But let's talk about the COAT team. That's a big important part of this opioid emergency and opioid epidemic.
Yes, back in 2016, the then State's Attorney, Matt Massarella, and I were talking frequently throughout the day, night, and in the middle of the night about the significant number of overdoses that were occurring. And we tried to develop a concept of how to manage those overdose cases so that we could decrease the number of overdoses and definitely the number of fatal overdoses. So the concept of having peers available to law enforcement and to the hospital and to the community at large became the idea of COAT. And we started off with a very small budget, and we started the process in June of 2016, and we've seen our peers respond to overdose cases and work with the victims of overdoses as well as the families of the overdose victims to try to prevent further overdoses. And that project has expanded and in numerous directions. They're part of the Safe Streets Initiative. They're part of the Safe Stations Initiative that just started out in the beginning of this month. So it's growing.
Right. And you've been, if I recall, you've been all across the country, and we've received several awards for our COAT.
Yes, it's nationally recognized as a promising practice by the National Association of City and County Health Officials.
And as you said, this is available to the public, so they can reach out through either a 24-hour number or 211 at any time.
Correct.
So that's a great program that we have going on with COAT. Very successful. I've met a lot of the peers, and they're very dedicated.
They are, and that's what it takes because we need people that have been in the situation that our overdose victims find themselves in so that they can relate to the individuals to get them linked up with the treatment resources that are necessary.
And it's been a great partnership. I understand they ride around with the sheriff's deputies at times.
They do. About 10 hours a week, they ride around with sheriff's deputies to various areas where they know that individuals have overdosed, out on the street with individuals, meeting them, greeting them, giving them the resources that they need.
That's a great thing. And you mentioned the safe stations. Do we want to let the public know a little bit about our safe stations, or just a very brief thing? It's not really, I know, going viral per se. We're in a test phase. So what would you like to tell people, since we've teased them a little bit about safe stations?
So we received some funding from another organization to develop a safe stations model where individuals could go for treatment resources if they were in need or had overdosed, or just individuals that are in need of treatment in general. And we decided to do this as part of the Recovery Resource Center over off of Waverly, as opposed to the typical safe station, which occurs with law enforcement offices or fire stations. And we think that this is going to be very productive. The first week they had 4 individuals that came out. And we're going to put this out as a real kickoff very shortly. We just wanted to iron all the wrinkles out of the process before we did a true kickoff.
Well, good. We'll have you back at another time, or maybe we'll have the Resource Recovery Center and the Opioid Coordinator come in and talk about the safe stations. But that's great. We've reached people already, and that's what it's all about, community partnerships.
Absolutely.
So a great community partnership that we have is the Wicomico Goes Purple. So that's part of the operations section of the OIT, and we've got some honorary chairs. We got Stephanie Willie and Mike Lewis, our sheriff, and Jamie Dykes, our state's attorney. So share a little bit about Wicomico Goes Purple.
Wicomico Goes Purple was an initiative that actually started out with Talbot County, and we had Talbot County Sheriff come in and speak to what they did with their Go Purple event. And what we have seen is that this will draw in the awareness of the opioid epidemic and substance use in general, so that individuals understand that this is an impact to the community at large, as well as the individuals that are experiencing the medical issue of addiction. And so we are focusing on, again, the 3-pronged approach of prevention, treatment, and enforcement with our awareness campaign.
So that's great. So the people can get more information at wicomicohealth.org. They can go to wicomicogoespurple.org. We can always tell people to call 211 for a resource. Yes. So that's great. And with the Wicomico Goes Purple, we've got some events coming up, but we also have the opioid education trailer now. So let's tell the people a little bit about that.
So the education trailer has been a big hit everywhere we have taken it. And what we have done is designed a room, like a child's bedroom, and show individuals where they can store and hide their drugs and paraphernalia in areas that are generally not known to parents. The trailer is for individuals 18 and over, and then we do have some educational materials and videos that people can watch as well.
Right, and then we've deployed the trailer some, as you said, very successful, been part of that operation. And we also have a spinning wheel on the outside for kids and adults, and that's been a great hit.
Absolutely.
So come on out. Next time you're out in an event, look for the Opioid Intervention Team's education trailer. Come spin the wheel and take a tour in the back. We'd love to have you. And those calendars are all on wicomicogoespurple.com. So Lori, anything else that we think we should tell the public today about the Opioid Intervention Team?
I think we need to let them know that our Go Purple event kickoff is on August 31st at the Shorebird Stadium. And we will be, discussing the Go Purple event there, and it's for the whole month of September.
Right, and this whole opioid epidemic and OIT. It's about community involvement. So we do need our viewers. We need everybody to be engaged.
Absolutely.
So if you want to get engaged, you can reach out to us through the health department or through Wicomico Goes Purple. And we thank you for taking the time today on Pack 14 to watch this special edition of Prepare Wicomico Opioid Intervention Team.